Gonjiam, Haunted Asylum. Synopsis: the crew of a horror web series travels to an abandoned asylum for a live broadcast. It soon encounters much more than expected as it moves deeper inside the nightmarish old building. Hey guys, and welcome to my newest movie review. Now, it's very kind of rare, it really is, that I go and watch horror movies. And the reason why, there's kind of technically, honestly, one reason why, is many years ago, I was having a conversation with a colleague that I was working with, and I brought up in conversation horror movies, I think. And he said to me, I'd rather laugh than be scared. And that really resonated with me. And I was like, that's a good point. Because, same. Like, really, if you actually think about it. But, so I just want to give you a bit of context of why I watched an absolutely random Asian horror movie. So I was I wasn't sitting. We were about to leave work, and I was talking to a colleague of mine. Shout out to Steve. Thank you again so much for recommending this, brother. I really appreciate it. You're awesome. We were talking about horror movies, and I mentioned, yes, Paranormal Activities. And how I thought, how I actually watched that film. I watched it in the middle of the day, in like summer or something like that, on a laptop with friends, and I was very scared because that movie was really well executed. And I was like, that's, in my personal opinion, one of the scariest movies I've ever seen in my life. And he just happened to mention Gonjiam. I don't know how to pronounce the movie. Gonjiam. I think it's Gonjiam. Haunted Asylum. And I'm like, what? And he's like, it's an Asian film. I'm like, okay. He's like, check it out. Trust me. And I'm like, I'm intrigued. And I said, tell me, what was your experience on it? And he literally said to me, and I hope you don't find this offensive, Steve, if you watch this, he literally said that he personally, after watching this film, had nightmares like 2 months after watching this film because it was so full on. And I'm like, wow, okay, I'm intrigued. So I went and bought the Blu-ray. What? Wait, what? Are you serious? Wow, I have it right here. So this is the Blu-ray, guys. I own the Blu-ray. I purchased it, and I'm so unbelievably glad I did. And the reason why I'm unbelievably glad I did is because this movie is outstanding. Now, one of the things I want to tell you about this film before I deep dive into it, this is something that I feel needs to be verbally expressed before you go and watch this film. It has very much Blair Witch Project vibes to it, but not shaky cam elements, okay? It's not like that. It's really, it's really firm cam, if that makes sense. And I've got in a minute I'm going to talk to you about a scene in this that I thought was a mistake with the editing, but it's not. But I'll talk about it in a sec. Now, for those of you who've been following my channel for any period of time, you know this already. And for those who are new to my channel, guys, I don't do spoilers. Yes, that's right. I do not do spoilers in my movie reviews. So fear not. I'm not going to spoil anything about this movie. all I am going to do is talk about a scene in context. So I give you the contextual elements to the scene, and then when you go and see the movie, if you go and watch this movie, you'll understand what I'm talking about when I talk about a certain scene in the film, so that you understand what I'm actually talking about. Guys, those of you who have seen this film, you will know the ending to the film. And it is outstandingly, brilliantly, masterfully shot and directed. This is an incredible horror film. And I mean an incredible horror film. This stands the test of time in horror in cinema, 100,000%. Now, I just want to let you know something about, I guess you could call it a spoiler on IMDb, and it's the first trivia in IMDb, and I just want to let you know something. Don't read it if you're going to go and watch this movie, because in my personal opinion, and I'm glad I read it after watching this movie, it's kind of a pretty decent spoiler. And I was like, I kind of didn't want to know that. And it's about the movie's filming location. And I was like, that's kind of disappointing. However, it doesn't take anything away from the film, for me personally. But it really did make me go, I kind of wish I didn't know that now. But it doesn't, in the overall scheme of things, it makes sense as to why it was what it was. This film has a scene in it. Now, again, no spoilers. When the cast, now, for my personal respect for the cast members' names, I'm not going to name any names in this review, purely because I don't want to butcher them, because I don't actually understand how to pronounce them, and I don't want to disrespect the actual actors of this movie, and I don't want to take away the pronunciation of their names, so I'm just going to say the actors, okay? So respectfully, I apologize in advance for that. I do apologize. I'm sorry about that. I don't know how to pronounce your names because it's not English. When they're going towards the asylum, okay? Now, the movie opens up, and it's kind of, it's a meet and greet, okay? It's a meet and greet, and then they're heading into, and they have kind of what you call like an icebreaker event. And as that icebreaker event is taking place, the actors are slowly going in scenic elements, and finally, nighttime comes and they head towards the asylum. Now, one of the things that I thought while watching the opening sequences heading towards the asylum is the camera's audio was perfectly in sync. However, it was, and I watched it like I showed you, I watched this on Blu-ray. So I didn't watch this on a streaming service. So there was no glitch in the actual streaming of me watching this. But watching it visually, as the actors were heading towards the asylum, the visual from cutting from camera to camera, and when you see the movie you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, cutting from camera to camera, it looked like it was glitching. And I don't know if that was a directorial intention, or they were trying to do that to sort of give us an elemental feeling as an audience member of what we were about to come into, like a glitch. And I think it was intentional. Now, that element of glitchy material plays a really, really significant part in, I want to say, probably the middle of the movie. Not the start, not the end, but the middle of the movie. And without giving anything away, another character who's watching the live stream and piecing it all together, we cut back to him, okay? And we do this quite often throughout the movie. And as you saw in the synopsis, that is what this is about. And we cut back to him, and when I saw that footage played out in my mind, I was like, oh, that's an annoying glitch, right? And I was like, what is happening there? Like, that's why would they put that in the film? Like, it was like an intentional glitch. Then it's actually alluded to by the editor, right? And what he brings up blew my mind, because me as an editor, he was like, wait, and that scene he talks about, and I was like, oh snap, it wasn't just me, they did it intentionally. That was awesome. That was really, really well executed. I genuinely was so thoroughly impressed with that, because again, I was watching it thinking, oh, that was a glitch, in the editing process, but it wasn't. They did it very intentionally, because they bring light to it later on, like scenes later. I was impressed. Now, one of the things that I thought was so groundedly jumping as an audience member in this movie was the audio to what and how the director wanted us to be scared. Now, there's parts in this movie that they come to later, and they make us as audience feel like we're being tricked in watching this, because they bring an element into it. The reason why that confused me so much, and I was like, wait, what? What? I don't understand at all what's going on right now. And it made no sense to me. But then when the movie continues on, you'll see why they did that. And I'm just going to jump forward immensely real quick. Guys, I need to talk to you about the end of this movie and how the fear factor of this movie ramps up significantly, and how outstandingly brilliant that the set design of this movie was. Oh, wow. In the biggest and best way possibly imaginable. The set factors behind this movie, especially, and again, no spoilers at all, but I will tell you contextually, the water room scene. Oh man, that blew my mind. Oh, I really mean it, guys. That scene was awesome. Oh, wow. Wow. Really, wow. Oh man, that scene was incredible. I kid you not, in any way, shape or form. Oh, Man, that was awesome. Now, I really want to talk about a scene in this movie and I don't really know how to allude to it without spoiling it, but I want to mention it because of how they practically did it, and how I know it was supposed to be scary, but it wasn't scary for me. It was more creative for me, and I was like, man, I could so see how someone could find that really creepy and really scary, but I wasn't creeped out or scared. In fact, I was just fascinated by how outstandingly brilliant it was. And I'll say this. I'll say it like this, without spoiling it. It was as though what we were looking at was a mannequin. Okay? A mannequin. And when you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Those of you who've seen the movie, the twisted mannequin, that sequence, right? That was awesome. That was awesome. Oh, man. Guys, if you have not seen Gonjiam Haunted Asylum, please do yourselves a favor and check it out. Seriously, this movie is outstanding for a horror movie. I kid you not in any way, shape or form, guys. This movie is an absolute brilliant masterpiece of epic proportion. Truly, in every way, shape or form. Guys, those of you who don't know, this movie actually came out in 2018, and the duration, I think it was about 1:45, if my mind... And the duration is 94 minutes long, so it's about an hour and a half, but an hour and a half of awesomeness. Truly, guys, if you like horror films... Oh, wow, I almost forgot to mention that. I'm so glad I mentioned that. I'm so glad I thought of that before I ended this movie review. It has English subtitles, and for me, I have dyslexia, so I can't read fast. However, surprisingly, I could really follow along with this, and I was not in any way, shape, or form thrown off by the dialogue, or like the subtitles, because it just made sense the whole way through. This movie is impressively awesome. I give it a massive double thumbs up, and I really encourage you, if you're a horror movie fan of any description at all, check this movie out. Steve, again, thank you, brother. I really, really appreciate you letting me know about this film. You're awesome, as always. Guys, thank you for watching this movie review. If you get an opportunity to buy, rent, hire, or however you watch this, in any way, shape, or form, check it out. Conjuring Haunted Asylum. You're welcome. Guys, stay tuned to my next review because it's going to be amazing. I'm so looking forward to bringing it to you. This is Superman Steve. Appreciating you guys always and loving your time. Flying out.